Hello, my crafty friends. Today I'm going to share a video on how I made 3 mini slimline cards with a bit of a fun fold using 3 different 6x6 pattern papers and no leftover bits. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I will be doing this technique again, and I couldn't wait to share it with you. I actually had this thought as I was drifting off to sleep one night, and miracle of miracles, I remembered it in the morning and grabbed my coffee, went into my craft room, tried it out on some just scrap paper, and it worked. So I couldn't wait to finish what I needed to get done so I could get into the craft room and actually make these cards. Now the sizing is a little bit different on them. Normally my favorite size of mini slimline is 3.5 by 6 inches. These ones are the same 3.5 inches across, but they're actually 6.25 inches long because I wanted to make full use of a 6-inch pattern paper with an even border all the way around. And so therefore that's why there is that extra 1/4 inch at the bottom. And I wanted to show you that it still fits in a standard number 8 envelope. So there is the second card. I'm going to assemble the third card with you here so I can go over some of the measurements. But first, the envelopes. I see a lot of questions about slimlines and mini slimlines and what are the envelopes that you use. So I wanted to show you, this is the new box that I'm using. They are number 8 envelopes. Quite often it will say 6 3/4 inch too. I'm not sure why these ones don't, but I do refer to these as a number 8 envelope. And in Canada and the US, they are readily available. These ones I just picked up at our local pharmacy. So that's the envelopes. And now for the cards. Now, I call these a fold flap style of card. I've been making these, oh gosh, since I started making slimline cards, because on that 3.5 inch width, it's just a nice little detail. So I have been making these. I've probably done videos on the measurements for them before. My cards started with this pattern paper, Hello Happiness from Tailored Expressions. Everything that's available will be linked on my blog. And of course, if you don't have 6x6 pattern papers and you do want to still try this technique, you can always cut a 12x12 into a 6x6 inch square and then go ahead like that. So that is your pattern paper. You're going to need a card base, and your card base is 7 inches across, 6.25 inches tall. The score line in the center is 3.5 inches, and then you're going to score 1.25 inches from the left side, and that gives you your fold flap. So there's your center fold line, and this fold flap you just fold on the score line like that. Now you don't have to secure them like I do here. You could leave it like that and just use it as an accordion, and that's fine, but I do tend to close mine down. I like mine secured rather than loose. And for these ones in particular, and let me show you why. I have all my little bits and pieces here for the card. I'm just going to move these things out of the way. Okay, so with your 6x6 inch pattern paper, my first cut is 1 inch. So I'm using a big guillotine paper cutter, so it might be easier for you to do it in a different order, but for me, having a big grip when I'm cutting just an inch off, I like the larger section that I can hang on to. So I just put this edge at the 5-inch mark on my paper cutter, make a cut, and that follow-away piece is the 1-inch piece. So that is what's going on the fold flap right in the center, and it gives you an even border all the way around. The next cut is going to be at 3.25. And that gives you this panel here. So again, an even border all the way around. And then you have a leftover piece. And that leftover piece is 1 3/4. Oh, sorry, my husband's phone is ringing. We'll have to ignore that. The leftover piece is 1 3/4 inches. So that is how you cut your 6x6 pattern papers. You end up with the 3 pieces. That leftover piece doesn't reach all the way to the edge. So if you were going to do it just loose and that doesn't bother you, go for it. But it does bother me. I would want to have it right. I would need almost another 1/4 inch to make me happy. So I secure mine down. You can do it with wet glue. You can do it however you like. I do use thin foam tape, and I wanted to show you that I only apply it at the top and the bottom edge. And that allows me to add foam tape down the center of this panel here and pop it up, but I'm not then dealing with a double layer of foam tape, and then I can use another piece of foam tape here. So I only actually have 2 layers of thin foam tape on this card, which is equivalent to a single regular foam tape, and so that's no additional bulk to go through the mail. So I have my 2 little thin foam tape squares. I have been using thin foam tape for over a year now. That's the staple in my craft room, and I actually buy it from Uline in Canada. I order 2 rolls at a time, and they're already cut into 1/2-inch squares. You have to kind of find your groove in removing the tape. That looked really easy. It's not always that easy to get off. So if you're interested in the foam tape, that's where I get it, and just the heads up that you do have to kind of work sometimes to get that liner off the adhesive. But there is my card base now ready to decorate. So how easy is that? Now you can put whatever you want on the front. You could actually do like a 2-inch rectangle in here and put a small verse on it and greeting if you want. But I do like to do kind of a circle or a larger element that allows a smaller one inside that we can stamp a greeting, sign our name. So that's what I did with these ones. Some more of the details here. The bling is the honeybee bling. I just absolutely love those, and I keep using them, and you get so many in a package. These ones are the prism, and as I said, they are linked on my blog. Those are affiliate links. It doesn't cost you anything at all to click on that link, but it does allow a small commission for me, and that helps me finance the blog and supplying those links, which cost money every month. The circles are from Divinity Designs. Both they're double stitch circles, which give you a stitch line on either side of the cut line, and the scalloped circles. So I've used them here and then the smaller one inside, so I know that it will be hidden inside the card. Enjoy every moment. I've shown this and shown this and shown this. Special Sentiments by Penny Black. There's the Enjoy Every Moment, and my stamps are stained from using pinks and reds and purple inks. They are clean and they stamp just fine. Photopolymer will often stain with deep colors of ink. The Cupcake, how cute is the Cupcake? That is from Karen Burniston's Cupcake Pop-Up. There's a smaller cupcake included, so the liner and the icing, and then the little cherry. There's also a bow you can put up. And for mine, I just used scraps of pattern paper in the paper pad because it's a pad I've had for a long time, and there are little bits and pieces in it. And if there's a small strip of pretty pattern paper, I keep it in. That's how I got my whole cupcake. The little cherries were die cut just from white cardstock, colored in with Copic markers, and then I added stickles, and that's in the colors Crystal. Love the shimmer and shine that gives. The sentiment is Biddy Birthday Wishes from MFT Stamps. So there's just a whack load of different birthday sentiments. I will often save those 1/4-inch and 1/2-inch cardstock strips that come off of white card bases for whatever reason, and then I'll pick an evening and I'll go in and I'll lay them out and I'll just pick stamps and stamp, and I'll have a whole bunch of them, put them in a plastic envelope. Then I'm ready to add them to my card. I just have a whole selection of them. And actually that's what these ones, they came out of the envelope. I didn't stamp them for these cards. So sweet birthday wishes, a big birthday wish, and yay, it's your birthday. Obviously with the cupcakes and candles, I made birthday cards. You're going to end up with 3 cards, so you could do a get well, a thinking of you, and a birthday card and send them to 3 different people. But I do make a lot of birthday cards. The white circle, I just used some Catherine Pooler ink and blending brushes and gave it a little bit of color. And my favorite dot stamp that I forgot to bring over is by Stamps by Judith and Heather, and it is just a peg stamp. I've had it for many years and I love it. It's just such a nice way to add a little something something to a background. I did pre-add the bling, and I thought I would just finish assembling the card for you. So another bit of thin foam tape, and I hope I can get these liners off okay. There, now you're getting a true view as to how picky they can be. I usually use a pick in my craft room, and they're super fast to get off. Just when you're just using your fingernails without a tool, it takes a little bit longer. So I will pop that right there. And the sentiment, I already have my foam tape, but I'm terrible at putting things on straight. I glue everything on an uphill slant. So I recently invested in these tea rulers for your Mini Misty. They're from my Sweet Petunia, and ooh, I am very happy with those, let me tell you. Before I use the ruler and adhere my sentiment, I wanted to show you, I just put foam tape down the center. If you're not going to use foam tape, if you're going to adhere it flat on, remember that this does not get any adhesive at all. So you want to keep your adhesive to the center and to this side, leaving what will be the right edge free of adhesive. So I did actually on these 3 foam tapes lift them once and then stick them back down so that they would come off easier in video. So you can choose where you want it on the card. I'm going to go there, press it down, and now I can use my tea ruler and hopefully do this. I'm not used to creating with an overhead view for the camera. So I line up the tea ruler with the edge of my card. So let's move this up just a little bit. And that gives me a nice straight edge to add my banner to. So I just lay it down along the edge of my ruler so it stays nice and straight. And there is the front of my card done. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I've got my glue. I'm so happy that I've finally been able to restock my Lineco pH Neutral, but I don't have it in its little bottle yet. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue, which is also a favorite for crafters. And using wet glue allows you to kind of shimmy and move it around a little bit if you need to. So that looks good as far as being centered edge to edge. And yeah, you can't see it when the card comes out of the envelope, so I can press that down. And there is my card done. I'm just going to put my pin back in the glue because I don't like them to dry out. And 3 cards. 3 cards, mini slimlines, with a bit of a fun fold, 3 different 6x6 pattern papers used, and no leftover scraps to deal with. Hitting that like button is a huge help for YouTubers. It allows more people to see your videos. So if you enjoyed it, please do hit that like button, subscribe if you'd like to see more of my cards, and that's it for me today.